Hello everyone, I'm Kelly and I'm here with Oliver Lewin today, and we are going to share a little bit more information about our upcoming nano degree on space exploration. So I'd like to welcome Oliver today. And Oliver, can you begin by telling us a little bit more about how you got interested and passionate into space exploration?
Hey, that's a really good question. Well, I kind of always liked space. I've liked it, as a child growing up. I'd use telescopes and study the different planets. But yeah, as a teacher, I think I started when I was teaching English. I was trying to make it a bit more interesting for the students, and space always seemed to kind of pique their interest and got them a little bit more involved. And yeah, I chose that as a subject, and I went into a bit more depth with it when I was researching this, and I found some really cool apps and stuff that can, really gauge the interest of the students. Especially with some of the apps where you can use augmented reality and it can show it in like a 3D space. So that's really cool and interesting.
Yeah, awesome. That's really exciting. So it sounds like the students are going to have a really different kind of space exploration experience, and we'll dive into those details. Can you tell us a little bit about what the students will expect and some more information about what's coming up in these 4 weeks?
Sure. So in the nano degree, we'll be exploring the concept of space exploration using augmented reality, virtual videos, and some interactive apps. And through research, the students will uncover how humans have managed to get into space and how we've managed to travel to like the moon and back, to the International Space Station, and how we're going to be traveling to Mars in the future. And through discovery and experimentation, they'll also have a look at the challenges, physical, financial, psychological, that humans will face when traveling to even further reaches of the solar system. And so yeah, each session, students will kind of experiment with technology, just play around basically. And by the end of the nano degree, there'll be a project in which they'll need to present, where they'll each group will have a chosen planet of their choice from the solar system, and in the presentation they'll need to explain how humans will be able to travel there, and how they could inhabit the planet. So they'll be looking at the technology of the space shuttles, the climate and the temperatures of the planet, and they'll also need to use a bit of their imagination to think about how could they even do this? Is it even possible, in the future? So it's kind of taking aspects of all these different things and kind of putting it into a really cool project.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Kind of taking it to the next level too, to imagine what it would be like if we actually tried to do that. I mean, people are trying to do that. So maybe to go to different planets. It's
even possible.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe they'll have some interest in the future to pursue this. If this is where the nano degree leads them, that would be really cool.
Exactly.
So what about the experience? Is there any age limitations? Do they need any experience about any research into space? And are there any requirements? You talked about some apps, so can we talk a little bit more about this?
So there's no age limit. They can be any age they are, it's open to everybody. They don't need to be too knowledgeable about space and stuff like that, because they will learn a lot as they go. The only thing that is required are a few downloads of these apps. So we've got a few apps that need to be downloaded, like the International Space Station app, an app called Spacewalk, and the JF Moonwalk app, and the YouTube app as well. So there's 4 apps that they need to download prior to starting this nano.
Okay,
They
awesome.
don't take up too much space either.
Okay, cool. And which device will they need to use these apps on?
So they can use this on a tablet or on a phone, because we'll be using augmented reality. So that'll be using the camera on the device, and it shows images and moving objects in the 3D space that they're in, using augmented reality. So it's pretty cool. They can see it right in front of them as it's happening.
Yeah.
But they do need a device that's capable of that, which is most devices nowadays. So
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Can you tell us a little bit about what will happen each week and what will the students expect during these 4 weeks?
So for the first week, we'll be taking a bit of a dive into looking at the International Space Station, and we'll be looking at, why do people go to the International Space Station? How is it built? How do people get there? And stuff like that. We'll also look at the technology, like the rockets, the suits, the food, and the living conditions. That's week 1. The week 2, we'll be looking at the moon landing. This is an important part of space exploration history. So how did the Apollo 11 mission, how did they manage to get to the moon? What issues arise, when they were going there, and why was it a success? Did they have any problems? What technology did they use? And stuff like that. We also look at what is the future of the moon missions. Why did the moon missions stop? And is anything going to happen with the moon in the future? We'll look into it. For the third lesson, we'll be looking at Mars and the future of space exploration. So we'll split up into groups for this, and using an app called the Spacewalk app, we'll look at the conditions and the climate on Mars. And we'll just discuss in groups how humans could even explore Mars and what they need to accomplish this. We'll also look at the Mars One project, which is going to be happening in the future, and we'll see how far they are and what's needed to get humans there. And for the last and final week, we'll have the research project presentations. So like I said earlier, each group will have chosen a planet of their choice from the solar system, and in their presentation, they'll need to explain how humans would be able to travel there and how we could inhabit and survive on that planet.
Wow, sounds like 4 weeks jam-packed of a lot of really
jam-packed.
exciting. Yeah. Are we going to every planet and the moon?
So that's up to the students. So for the project, they can choose what planet they want to go to, but it's going to be the International Space Station, the moon, Mars, and the future of space exploration. Those are the key areas.
Wow, very cool. So if anyone is watching this video and is kind of on the fence about joining the nano degree, do you have any lasting words to inspire them to join you in March?
I'd just say this project is open to anybody. If you like space and you've always looked to the stars or to the moon and thought, hey, how on earth do humans, get to these places? Is it possible to go even further? Well, in this nano degree, we'll find out and we'll see if that is possible.
Wow, very cool. Maybe I'll come in and join as well. And yeah, I love teaching space as well. It's a really fun topic as an educator. And yeah, now that it's even a little bit more possible to predict what could happen, this is really exciting time for us. So thank you so much for spending your time with me today and sharing a little bit more about what's coming up in March. And we'll see you for space exploration for this March nano degree.
Awesome, thank you.